So the other day, I ran into my neighbor, an elderly man called Mr. Chima. He was looking confused and dejected, and we got talking. I found out that he had run out of his drugs for hypertension and was confused about how to get them. Mr. Chima doesn't drive, and his son, his official driver, was out of town. He had traveled for a work engagement. You know what I did for Mr. Chima? I simply linked him with Doktorconnect, a telemedicine app that works 24/7, to book an appointment with a doctor, and he was able to get his refill drugs before the end of the day. That's simple, right? I'm Dr. Okonkwo Christian, and I work with Doktorconnect, and I'll be telling you in this video what telemedicine is and the advantages of using telemedicine. Also, very important, the kind of conditions or diseases that you can treat via telemedicine. Remember, this video is simply for educational purposes and it does not replace a consultation with a doctor. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and importantly, turn on your notifications so whenever I drop a video, you would have access to it immediately. So let's get into it. What's telemedicine? I'm sure you've heard this term thrown around a lot recently because it's part of the innovative measures that has come with digital health. Telemedicine is simply a consultation with a doctor or a health practitioner without being in the same room with the person. So it can happen via phone calls, video calls, or chats. Now, in Nigeria, telemedicine has been really novel and helpful because with the advent of the pandemic, the COVID-19 crisis, the lockdown, and all of us had to be at home, one wonders how healthcare continued. How do people get access to their drugs, the important things they need to stay alive and active while being on lockdown or being at home? So let's talk about some of the advantages that telemedicine confers. One of them is reduced exposure, especially in this time of COVID-19. You know, even till now, when I enter a bus, if someone sneezes around me, I hold my breath for like 30 seconds. Let's be sure that whatever they brought out can just go. Of course, you should always wear your face mask when you're in public gatherings. So, telemedicine helps you reduce exposure to COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. Telemedicine also saves you time and transportation costs. Let's not lie, see, transport in Lagos is very expensive. Somewhere that used to be like 100 naira is now 200, sometimes 300. So, you don't really want to go out unless you have to. Telemedicine helps you to achieve this. Important is telemedicine also cuts out the stress of waiting times and having to confront sometimes unruly front desk officers. With telemedicine, you're not talking to anybody, you just book your appointments and you get to see the doctor at the appointed time without any hassles, except of course network is not good. So let's go into some of the illnesses that you can treat via telemedicine. It's important to note that telemedicine is not for emergency consultations. Meaning that if you're having an asthmatic attack, that's not the time you should be booking a telemedicine appointment. It's not really advisable because your attack may need more than the telemedicine doctor can provide for you at that point in time. So if you're having an emergency, say you suspect you're having a heart attack, please go straight to the hospital instead of booking a telemedicine appointment. But telemedicine is really helpful for things like when you have a flu, when you have a fever, when you have cough, when you have some minor allergies or reactions. It's also important for getting refill medications like Mr. Chima, my neighbor that I mentioned earlier. If you have hypertension or you're diabetic and you've been on a particular drug for 5-6 years, it's always easy to book an appointment, have a conversation with a doctor, and then you get your drugs. You know the nice thing about using our app, Doktorconnect? Our Doktorconnect app also allows you to have your vitals taken at home. So the doctor is not just consulting with you, but he's also seeing your current state of health. Remember, your vital signs are basically indicators to say how well you're doing or how, say, healthy you are at that point in time. With our Doktorconnect app, you also get to do that. Also, with our Doktorconnect app and with telemedicine in general, you can get access to more than just a doctor. You can talk to a mental health therapist, you can talk to a nutritionist. Basically, you can talk to any health practitioner you want, depending on the platform. All you need to do is book an appointment. It's amazing how much reach we have today just with the aid of our phone and an app. So in essence, everything I've told you, don't be like Mr. Chima. Just download the app. Your first 30 days are free and you have access to a doctor at any point in time. It's 24/7, meaning if you want to book an appointment at 1 a.m., you can. So if you have any questions about this topic, telemedicine, the uses and how it's very helpful to your health, please feel free to drop your comments. your questions, your suggestions as well in our comment section. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And importantly, turn on your notifications so whenever I drop a video, you would have access to it immediately.